The 48 Laws of Power is one of the most controversial books ever written. In fact, when it was first released in 1998, it was widely criticized for its cynical and manipulative advice. And even to this day, many people still claim that this book can only be used for evil. But if you actually read it, you'll realize that it doesn't teach you how to gain power, but rather how power affects us psychologically and how others use it against us. Robert Greene, the author, studied hundreds of case studies and came up with these 48 laws based on the tactics used by the most powerful people in history. So today, let's explore what the 48 Laws of Power teaches us about human psychology. Welcome to our channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. 1. Never outshine the master. Have you ever worked with someone who always tried to impress their boss? They would agree to every decision without questioning, flatter them all the time, and generally do everything they could to make themselves look good in front of them. However, as soon as their boss left the room, they would start backstabbing him or showing how incompetent they were. Now, if you ask any psychologist, they will tell you that this is a classic example of the Lucifer effect. The idea that when people are put into positions of power, they tend to become more unethical and abusive. And if you want to understand why this happens, you have to look at our next law, which brings us to 2. Never commit to anyone. Now, you might think that committing yourself to someone makes you a better person. After all, loyalty and commitment are two of the most admirable traits one can have. But according to the 48 Laws of Power, committing to someone else reduces your power because it puts you in a dependent position. For example, let's say you work for a company that sells products online. You meet a new client, and after talking with them, you feel like they are very trustworthy and honorable and decide to build a relationship with them. However, a few weeks later, you start receiving complaints from other clients. One of them even tells you that he had an argument with the client you just met, and he claims that they are trying to scam him. So now, what are you going to do? If you decided to be loyal to your initial gut feeling, then you're going to lose your other clients. But if you decide to believe the other clients, then you're going to lose the new one. This is what Robert Greene calls being in a dependent position. You see, when you commit to something, you narrow your options and limit your freedom of action. That is why the best way to keep your power is to never fully commit to someone until you know them well. 3. Conceal your emotions. We live in a culture that promotes vulnerability, and as a result, many people feel empowered when they share their emotions with others. But according to the 48 Laws of Power, concealing your emotions is one of the most important things you need to learn to master your psychology. You see, when you reveal how you feel, you give other people leverage over you. Let me explain. Imagine you're playing poker and you have a really good hand. If you show excitement, then your opponents will know that you're bluffing and they will take advantage of you. Similarly, if you're feeling angry or frustrated, don't show it. It's a sign of weakness that can be exploited by others. On the other hand, if you can keep a poker face and conceal your true emotions, then you will be able to maintain your power. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why should I listen to this guy? I trust my friends and I don't mind showing them how I feel. Well, here's the thing. No matter how much you trust someone, there will always be a part of you that wants to win and be right. So try to imagine how your opponent would react if you showed them how you felt. Chances are they would use it against you, which is why it's always better to conceal your emotions and keep a poker face. 4. Always say less than necessary. This is another piece of advice that goes against our nature. Most people like to talk. It makes them feel good, and it gives them a sense of importance. But as Robert Greene points out, saying too much is dangerous because it gives other people information they can use against you. Let's go back to the poker table. Again, you're playing poker and you have a really good hand. If you start bragging about it, then everyone will know that you're bluffing. Similarly, if you're feeling angry or frustrated, don't show it. It's a sign of weakness that can be exploited by others. On the other hand, if you can keep a poker face and conceal your true emotions, then you will be able to maintain your power. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why should I listen to this guy? I trust my friends, and I don't mind sharing things with them. Well, here's the thing. No matter how much you trust someone, there will always be a part of you that wants to win and be right. So try to imagine how your opponent would react if you shared too much information. Chances are they would use it against you, which is why it's always better to say less than necessary and keep people guessing. No. 5. So what makes you think you are so important? We all like to think of ourselves as unique snowflakes, okay? We believe that we are special and that our opinions are more valid than others, okay? But as Robert Greene points out, this belief is what prevents us from learning from other people and getting ahead in life. You see, when you think you are so important that you don't need to listen to anyone else, then you stop learning. And as the saying goes, the one who stops learning is already dead. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He was a brilliant CEO who revolutionized the tech industry, but he was also known for being arrogant and not listening to anyone else. In fact, he was once fired from his own company because he wouldn't listen to the board of directors. Now, I'm not saying that you should never stand up for yourself or that you should always agree with other people. What I am saying is that it's important to be aware of your own biases and to be open to other points of view. Otherwise, you will never grow as a person. No. 6. Court attention at all costs. Now, this may seem like a strange one, but let me explain. According to the 48 laws of power, people who court attention are seen as more important than those who don't. And this is something that you can use to your advantage. Think about it. When you enter a room, do you want to be ignored, or do you want people to notice you? Of course, you want them to notice you. And the reason for that is simple. It's because you want to feel important. We all want to feel important. And the best way to do that is to get attention. So the next time you walk into a room, make sure you make an entrance. Dress well. Make eye contact with everyone and smile. You may feel awkward at first, but trust me, people will notice you and you will feel more confident as a result. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this going to make me arrogant? Well, as long as you don't believe it, then it's just a tactic that you can use to get ahead. Just remember, it's not real. You're just pretending to be confident. No. 7. Get others to do the work for you, okay? This is another one of the most important lessons from the 48 laws of power. As Robert Greene points out, okay? The key to success is not doing everything yourself, but rather getting other people to do the work for you. This is why the best leaders are those who are able to inspire and motivate others. They don't try to do everything themselves. Instead, they focus on delegating tasks and making sure that everyone is doing their part. Now, I know what you're thinking. How am I supposed to get other people to do my work? Well, the answer is simple. You offer them something in return. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to start a YouTube channel, but you don't have time to do it. So you reach out to a friend and ask them to help you. You offer them something in return, such as helping them with their work as well, okay? And this is how you get them to do the work for you. Remember, the key to success is not doing everything yourself, but rather getting other people to do the work for you. Number 8, use absence to increase respect and honor. We live in a world that rewards those who are always present. After all, we often say that quality time is the most important thing. But as Robert Greene points out, sometimes the best thing you can do is to be absent. This may seem counterintuitive, but let me explain. We live in a world where people are always available. Thanks to technology, we can be reached at any given moment. And this has made us less likely to appreciate those who are around us. But if you want to be respected and honored, then you need to be absent from time to time. This will make people realize that you are not always available and that they should value your presence when you are around. In fact, this is the same reason why celebrities are so popular. They are always in the public eye, and yet we still want to be close to them. The reason for that is simple. It's because they are not always available, and that makes them more valuable. If you've enjoyed these insights from the 48 Laws of Power, check out this video next. It's our top 8 lessons from the book. We'll see you there.